Who is ready to ride some bikes? This guy is, that's for sure. Man, I just can't stress enough how much I love logging in and seeing, there's like 16,000 people, and we're just getting started. Love seeing the crowds. So today, we are getting back to some anaerobic capacity. I totally botched this workout last week. Well, there was a number of factors that were working against me last week. So I took a look at things and made some adjustments, and this should be a workout that I can complete and will move me forward. Now, the one thing that I see now, last week I did 6 of the power target. But I was fading at 25 seconds. So 30 seconds is maybe a little ambitious, but I really thought about dialing that back to 25 or 28, but I think I really do want to aim for 30. Because I know for sure that I'm capable of building this back up to a lot more than 2x3 in this zone. But this is where I am right now. And like I said, I want to make it challenging, but a workout that I can finish. And then we'll build on it for next week. That's as long as you're progressing, that's really all that matters. And I had taken 3 weeks off the bike, and some of my fitness that I built up kind of went away, and so now it's time to recover that. So I'll do what I can, and then we'll move forward next week and build on it. And the week after that, we'll build on that. There's no real crazy secret to it. The hardest part is figuring out where that point is, where you're still moving forward, but you can, where you're giving yourself enough stress to move forward, but not so much that you're failing. I was off the bike yesterday. I had been toying around with doing a race today, but I think I would really rather get the targeted work in. Apparently I have not been riding that segment very often. set a PR, a sprint PR in a warm-up. Oh, you know what? I wanna do something here real quick. Dang it, I'm gonna fail an interval climbing wheels, especially with this many people on the course. All right. We'll just see what this does. It's not really a fair comparison because I'm not going to be in the same zones, but kind of what the average speeds look like. Or not the average speed, the speed, the actual speeds. I want to see what it looks like in the quote-unquote real world. I should have plenty of drafting help today. Getting ready for our 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off portion of the warm-up. There's a nice smooth one to start out. Bumped into Dave Zabriskie out here yesterday. That was pretty awesome. Here's our last one of these. All right. Cool that down. Bring the heart rate down for a couple minutes. is one of my, is that one of my DBR teammates? Sure looks like it. Alright, so I like to do a few minutes of zone 4 just to finish this workout off, to make sure, or the warm-up I should say, make sure all the energy systems are firing properly. Alright, and off we go. Well, this is markedly slower than the Tron. With this frame and these wheels, it's 2 to 3K per hour slower. But we'll see. Give a couple of hard efforts up an incline and see what that looks like. All right. Well, this right here is as good as we're gonna feel all day. Good and warm. We'll let our heart rate come down a little bit. And then we can get serious about some work. So we're doing anaerobic capacity, 3 by 30 seconds on with 3 minutes of rest. And the more fit I get, the more of these reps I'm going to do, and I will shorten up that rest interval. But for now, I want to make sure I really recover and I can hit my target 3 times twice. So I want those last couple in that second set to be really hard, but I want to be able to still hit my target. So we'll see how I did drawing this one up. If anything, I probably erred a little on the light side, but 30 seconds at 625 watts will be an awful lot. So we'll see. Let's find out, shall we? 7 seconds to go. We'll find our gear, and off we go. All right, well, definitely started feeling it at about 25. So we'll see, 3 minutes of rest. Should be good and ready to rock and roll for the next one. And over the course of this workout, what I'm going to be looking at is where my heart rate peaks after the interval, and then how low it recovers between. And that's one of the reasons why I put in such a long rest interval between these. And as you get more fit, your heart rate will drop more quickly in this recovery, so you can shorten that up. Just starting out or just rebuilding, you always want to aim for quality over quantity. Well, you want to aim for quality over quantity no matter what, but especially starting out, we don't want to go too hard, because then you're not getting as much out of the later intervals. You're not working anaerobic capacity. You'll be working something else, which is fine. We've got workouts for that stuff too. We'll get there. But today we're focusing on this, so I like where my heart rate recovered to, and let's go and hit up number 2. There we have it. So watch that heart rate. It'll keep going up for a little bit here. So 184 is what I saw. Now, if you're feeling good right here, it can be real tempting to park yourself maybe in zone 2, ride a little faster, especially you see all these other riders in the world, so you want to maybe try to keep up with them, catch a draft, maybe you're trying to bump your average power up for the ride or your average speed. Don't do it. Resist that urge. You want to take your rest interval every bit as seriously as your active interval. So we're trying to bring our heart rate back down. Those average numbers will come. You just got to trust the process. You train with a purpose, train with a plan, and you will get faster. There's no question about it. When you start to cheat like that, you don't get quite as good a quality in the zones that you're looking for. And you tend to stagnate a little faster. You reach that point where you plateau, where you're riding a lot, but you're not getting any faster. So we're trying to avoid that. And here we go. Number 3. All right, let's watch where that peaks. 185 maybe? Yeah, just a little higher than the one before. Oh, 186. Probably because I was talking. And you see in that first minute, my heart rate is not really dropping that much. So that's an indicator that I really do need this extra long recovery, at least for now. But every time I do this workout, I can add just a little bit more to it, or take away a little bit of rest. It sounds like the male's here, maybe. Guys, Chesky, Bella. Hey, Bella Chesky. There she is. It's okay. I got it covered. Don't worry. I got the neighborhood on lockdown. You can just relax and be a dog. All right, so we've got another 5 minutes of recovery. So it's really 8 minutes of recovery between these two sets. So that'll really let me spin the nastiness out of my legs, let my lungs fully recover. So when I hit this second set, I should be, I mean, not quite as fresh as I was, obviously, in the beginning of the ride, but should be fresh enough to hammer those 3 out without any real problems. And talking about the, kind of the mental aspect of this type of work, and when you've had it and you've lost it a little bit, and you've got to spend time to recovery, so, tell my the blood's in my legs and not in my brain right now. But when you're rebuilding and you're recovering all of that fitness that you once had, it can be a little bit of a hit to the ego, because I'm sitting here thinking like, oh man, not that long ago I was doing this set at almost 700 watts for 35 seconds. I think I was up to doing 5 or 6 of them with like 90 seconds of rest. So it was a lot. It was big, and now I'm just not there. I can't do it. I can't do that much right now. So it's a little bit, because there's that competitive part of my brain that's like, well, come on, dude, do it, get there, dig, find it, but that's a way to fail your intervals, and you won't get as good a quality out of them, and you won't rebuild as fast. And that's really kind of the key, is when you know the process, you know the process, you trust the process, you just gotta do the work, hard but doable, and keep building on it and moving forward, and progress. And I'll get back there, hopefully. You saw my heart rate had recovered into the 130s. Of course, it spikes up a little bit now because I got out of the saddle. See how fast it'll come back down again. Well, here we go. Set number 2. Find our gear and go. A little choppy. A little choppy on that one. So 186 was the peak there. I'm just kind of focusing on my breathing. See if I can bring that heart rate down a little bit more. If not, that's okay. It's good information. All right, here we go. Number 2. Interestingly, I think that's the best I felt through one of these so far. $188. right, see the arch for the last one. I recovered okay on this one. I sit and focus on breathing instead of talking. But here we go. We'll get our gear. And take off. Whew. Youch. Ooh, that one hurt. I saw 190. And I don't know if I could do another one for a full 30 seconds. Which is perfect. When you've got good data, the numbers rarely lie. All right. Now, take full advantage of this next 5 minutes. So what I'm doing So I know I'm going to want to build on this workout. You could end it right here if that's all you want. You could just say I'm doing anaerobic capacity and shut her down, but I know that I want to keep building. I want these workouts to be a little longer. So once I've got good fatigue in my legs, which I certainly do now, I'm going to hit 15 minutes of just steady state high-end zone 2. And that'll help me build a little bit more of that fitness that I'm after. And then back down into the 130s, which is good. Just admiring the lake I've got built up underneath me. That's how you know you did it right. Now, if you did the first part of the workout right, this 15 minutes of zone 2 will actually be a little taxing. And you'll watch my heart rate. Now my heart rate in zone 2, if I'm just focusing on zone 2, my heart rate is usually, mid 140s. And you'll probably see it. I'm gonna guess at 235. We're gonna see that heart rate around mid 160s. It may end over 170. We'll see. Just kind of knowing myself and where my fitness is and what this workout did to me. That's, I think, what we can expect. All right, here we go. So I think I'm gonna want to big ring this. I might play around with my gear just a little bit here and now this is okay. I like the cadence. Gear feels good. Sometimes there's some mechanical efficiency that you can play around with, depending on how much inboard or outboard angle you have on your chain. The straighter your chain is from your chain ring to whatever gear you end up in the back, the straighter it is, the more efficient it'll be. So it's one of those things, when you're choosing your gear combination, that's one of the things to keep in mind. Don't forget to stand up and stretch it out once in a while. Oh, and I see I missed it. I'm so sorry. I see I got another follow. I really appreciate that. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, I'm trying to get up to 50 followers on Twitch. And you can help me out there by going to twitch.tv/EricXJohnson and give me a follow. It'd be the coolest thing you ever did for me. I'd really appreciate it. If you missed it, in radio they always tell you to say it twice. That's twitch.tv/EricXJohnson. So I said mid 160s, possibly climbing to 170, and it looks like I was pretty much right on. I've been crossing over into zone 3 a little bit too. Now, I think it's also maybe worth mentioning that I'm 42 years old, and have a much larger build than the average cyclist, I guess maybe you would say, or what you would consider typical for a cyclist, or ideal maybe. I'm not a little guy. So, I have found that I need to work in a little bit more rest into my plan than I did when I was, 25. Just can't train quite at the same consistently intense level. But that doesn't mean you can't move forward. Doesn't mean you can't gain a lot of fitness. It just takes just a little longer for those adaptations to occur. And one thing that I have not been helping myself with is my nutrition. You can make mistakes in your 20s and get away with it. It is much more difficult to get away with it in your 40s. So that's something that I'm going to focus on a little bit more. The problem is I love to eat. I love to eat good, rich food. So I'll have to really evaluate what that balance is between performance on the bike and, happiness in real life. And that's a realistic conversation to have with yourself. Is you can get super screaming smoking fast if that's all you want to focus on. Regardless of, age is a limiter to some extent, but it would not be reasonable to expect myself to be able to go out and be part of a pro peloton. But I could definitely if I decided I wanted to sacrifice everything else and get super fast on the bike, you can do it. There's a lot of gains to be made, but I don't know that that's a mentally healthy endeavor. So it's, there's a balance to be had there. The big thing especially when you're balancing life and bike stuff is one, being honest about what your goals are. You just want to get faster? Is there an event you're training for? What's it going to take? What kind of fitness is it going to take to finish where you want to finish in that race, and is it realistic to get there from where you're starting at today? You know, that's the roadmap. And the question is, what are you willing to sacrifice to make it happen? You know, if you're limited on time, what thing can you not do where you can make time to ride your bike? Or how can you make your time on the bike the most efficient possible? How do you get the most bang for your buck in whatever time? You know, if you have 8 hours a week to spend on your bike, how do you get the best 8 hours? How do you make the most gains with that 8 hours? And then for a food lover like me, how do you not offset those gains at the dinner table? Or for me, it's really the snacking between meals that really adds up. Oh, do I love the sweet stuff. Give me ice cream and peanut butter cups. Oh, nutty bars. Give me that stuff all day long. And I have very little willpower. My willpower exists at the point of purchase. I can choose at the store to not buy it and bring it home, but once it's home, oh boy. They say self-control works best when exercised frequently, and I have yet to find out. It's tough. I have a hard time with discipline. All right, hey, look at this. Almost down to a minute left. And look at that. I'm finishing. I cooled down a little bit and not going quite, sitting a little more in zone 2 instead of edging into zone 3 quite as much. And my heart rate came down. Even with all that jabbering, my heart rate came down. Alright, here is the cool down window. Get out of my big ring for this. So tomorrow is going to be another off day. And then Thursday, I'm going to see, it's endurance day on Thursday. It's going to be a 2-hour ride. And I think I'm going to try to jump in with my DBR teammates. They do a DBR, Danish Bike Riders, does a 90-minute endurance workout on Thursdays, and it's really awesome. It's think we always do like a kind of a flattish route. I think we're doing Watopia waistband on Thursday. So what I'll probably do is either before or after that ride, just do an extra half hour. And you just get in there, sit in zone 2, group up with some people, you know, maybe jump into the Discord channel and hang out for a while. All right, well, this was an awesome workout. You know, and if you're gonna do this one yourself, you know, you got to figure out where those limits are. You know, where you know, your anaerobic capacity might be you know, a little less than 30 seconds or a little more than 30 seconds. You know, your ideal time for this amount of effort, and your number of reps and the amount of rest you need between each one. And of course, that's where a cycling coach can definitely be of benefit. You can find that stuff out on your own if you're willing to do enough digging, but you know, I mean, obviously I'm a little biased being a coach myself, but that's where a coach can definitely cut out the guessing game. That's I think the trial and error is where you see a lot of value in having an expert take a look at all your power numbers. So like I say, Thursday off tomorrow. Thursday endurance with DBR, and then Friday, I believe, is FTP day. Everybody's favorite. And I've got a fun FTP workout that I really like to do. It's 3x12, and each block you go 90% of FTP, 95%, and then 100% of FTP. It's a butt kicker, but it's doable, and you just feel fast. And then, when you're done, you're done. And it's super effective. So come join me for that. Join me for the DBR race. Give me a follow. That would be super rad of you. Hey, look at that peak power at 927. Really spiked it out there. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for watching, and join me again.